Hi there, welcome to Storytime with Uncle Bill. And I got a question for you. You ever heard of Al Capone? The notorious Chicago mobster, notably most famous for being one of the last people that was incarcerated at Alcatraz, where he ended up dying from syphilis. Al Capone was also at USP Atlanta, and at 21 years old I would find myself there in the transfer center part though. And then it was crazy because when I actually heard, I didn't know anything about USP Atlanta, anything. But January 4th, 1999, I turned myself into the Federal Marshal's building in Wilmington, North Carolina, to be transferred to Texas to be sentenced for possession with the intent to distribute 198 pounds of marijuana. And it would be a long time before I get there. So I had to go through 7 county jails across North Carolina, and you get to Hendersonville. And I was a federal detainee, so you get put into separate cells or pods or whatever county jail transfer center, because there's not a really transfer center for federal inmates. They use county jails and other prisons and stuff, or at least they did. You got to remember, this is all the way back in '99 now, long time ago, long time ago. So, but you end up finding people that are getting transferred. Either they're going back to court, or they're getting transferred to another prison, or they got, just certain, those are normally two. But you meet people like that along the way, and they kind of give you a heads up of what's going on, where you might be going, things you might encounter along the way, how the food is, how the guards are, how the people are. You pick up little things like that, and you kind of need those things too, because you never know what to expect. And any little bit of information is more than nothing. So I had heard a lot of good things about USP Atlanta, and one of the biggest things was food. When you're locked up, they got low budgets. They try to feed an average inmate like 55 cents a day. And it's very possible too, especially if you shake the spoon. But that's not what that's about. So Hendersonville is the last spot in North Carolina you go before you get transferred either north or south. And they tell you there, oh, wait till you get to Hendersonville and everything will be smooth sailing after that. And I got to Hendersonville, and they didn't even have no map for me. I ended up sleeping on the floor, just on the floor, man. Man, that hurt too. I had to stay like 2 or 3 days, I don't remember. And they loaded us up on the bus, shackled, and mind you, it was 7 county jails to get across North Carolina. And every county jail, when you go to, you got to get fingerprinted. You got to get butt ball naked. You got to lift your balls, spread your butt, cough, check your fingernails. Every tattoo you got's got to be marked. Every scar, every dental impression, every piercing. Every time. Every time. And then when you leave that place, butt ball naked, lift your balls, spread your butt. I mean, it's humiliating. So that's at least 14 times up to that point, you know what I mean? And there was a couple shakedowns in between there too. That same thing. So to say that I've been naked around a lot of people, understatement. But anyway, we're in Hendersonville, sleeping on the floor, hard concrete, a lot of people. Load us up on a bus. Now when you get transferred, now I've been transferred too, so after you get the butt ball naked and you get your traveling suit, you got to get the handcuffs on your wrists, then you get the handcuffs on your feet, shackled, and then you get a chain ran from your feet to your waist, and then you also get a chain around your waist to your waist and to your hands, and then you're shackled to a dude on your left and a dude on your right, and you sit like that in holding cells. Until you line up and either get on the bus or the plane. But we got on the bus this time. And then when you get to the bus, they break you off so you can sit two, and then they tie you up like that. So you're shackled the whole time. There ain't no free thing. So we're going to Atlanta now, USP Atlanta. I'm kind of excited, and I don't know why. When I look back on it now, it's like, why you was excited over some food. We're driving, and up until this point, I had been transferred through cars and vans. There wasn't no buses, and it was normally only like one or two, three of us tops. And it was pretty fast. It only took maybe an hour or two tops, and you just the butt ball naked and into your cell kind of thing. Well, we was on the bus, and the dude was like, "Yeah, man, wherever they go to eat, we get to eat there too." And it had been. I hadn't been locked up long, probably only about a month, and I was like, "Yeah, I could use some good food," you know what I mean? So they pulled over at a KFC. And I was like, "Yeah, about to get some KFC," and the dude went underneath the bus and came out with a big couple cases of Lunchables. Man, that threw. It was the pizza kind too. I don't even like that kind. That's when they had, and they got on the bus and we watched the meet. And I was like, man, you know what? It's probably only going to get worse from here. Probably just going to be all kind of disappointments from this point on. For the next, at least I know I'm going to have to do 4 years. I already know that. You got guidelines, so I mean, it just is what it is. So they get done eating, we get driving, and we pull up to Atlanta, and it's got this gigantic wall. I mean, it just looks hopeless. It looks old, really, really old. It's kind of cool looking, but when you see it, you know it's over. Matter of fact, except that camp I went to, when you see the prison, it's like, oh shit. That's when life really hits you. Really hit. I mean, the county jails are they're not even like real places, man. Prison's not a real place neither, but when you get behind those walls or behind those doors or those, it's not a life. Man, it's not a life. When I was 21 years old, thinking about how this is going to be a good experience. In 1987, the Cubans said they just had enough of being locked up in there, and they rioted. If anybody, that might be one of the reasons why you know what USP Atlanta is, because of the Cuban riots. They tried to burn the whole prison down. And you really succeed. USP Atlanta is one of the first 3 prisons that was ever built and managed by the Department of Justice, the BOP, and normally housed a bunch of gangsters. Even one of them's a YouTube superstar, Larry Lawton. Man, if you ain't never checked his channel, check him out. He did quite a few years there, and if you look up USP Atlanta famous inmates, you'll see Al Capone and Larry Lawton. And Larry Lawton was accused of robbing jewelry stores, working for one of the crime boss families up in New York. Really genuine guy. He really lets you. He really got insight. I think he did like 11 years, quite a few of them at USP Atlanta and other places. I never really got in trouble while I was locked up. I got caught stealing a bunch, and I got a lot of extra duty, but I never got no shots. I never got transferred. None of that happened. I was good at working, and everybody knew it. Going back to Atlanta, so we get through the doors. Now you're in Atlanta, but you're at the transfer center. I wasn't actually in USP in Atlanta as an inmate there. I was never issued an inmate card. Just transferring. They have a whole block. Most of the prisons do because a lot they serve as transfer places. Same thing when you went in, except it was so much more intense, man, because it was, I said up to the transfer and up at this time it was like 1 or 2, maybe 3 people. There was a bus load, 25 or so, and man, they had you all shackled and all together, and they put you in a real small room, and then they had one toilet, and they didn't uncuff you to use the bathroom, man. Oh, they might have, but you still had somebody, even if they let your hands go so you could use the bath, you was still shackled to somebody. It was worth holding. You had to go to the bathroom if you went to the bathroom because of the situation that was in. And then they get you all naked in front of, they take you out of there and put you so they get you all naked and then put you in between partitions to check each other out. I mean, it's like, there's got to be a better way than this. This is wow. And then okay, so now I get dressed out. Check this out. You never know, man. It's just one of the reasons not to never get in trouble, man. You never know what kind of cellmate you're gonna have. Roomie, bunkie, whatever the hell they want to call them. So I get dressed out, do the whole naked thing again, and they line us all up, and you got your little bed roll and your little stuff, and they open up a door and it's like, Jakowski, get in here. And I go in there and I look, and it's a bunk bed, 2 beds, and it's got 2 old dudes on it. So I'm like, damn, I'm on the floor again. And up to this point, I think I spent the whole time on the floor. I don't think I ever made it in a cell. It just overcapacitated. All of them, everywhere I ever went was just had too many people. So I put my stuff down on the ground, and we had already missed dinner, so they gave us another Lunchable. I put my stuff down on the ground, and dude was like, man, those taste like crap, don't they? And I was like, yeah, but you gotta eat something. He's like, right. He goes, what's your name? And I was like, Jakowski. He's like, yeah, I'm such and such, and I'll never remember their names, man. Well, dude was like, hey man, well look, if you're gonna be in the bunk with us and stuff, we got this little rule in here. You got to wear your boxes on backwards and keep your jumpsuit off when you go to sleep. I said, look man, I don't mean no disrespect or anything. If you try to fucking touch me, dude, I'll beat the goddamn shit out of you. Excuse me. I don't play that. And I could have beat both of them if I had the flu. I'm a pretty tough dude, man. I don't play around. I hit really, really hard. I took the time to learn a lot of different things about the human body and mixed martial arts, and I'll use it on you fast, and I'll put you in something you don't know of, and I'll break something along the way. They call me Hospital Damage. I got a pretty cool nickname. They was like, oh no, we sorry, man, we sorry, no. So the next morning, everything turned out to be cool. I was a little eerie, but they were kind of older, man. I mean, each one had to be like 50, 60 years, 60, late 50s, early 60s, somewhere in there. That was pretty old. I was 19. I was 21. Next morning, had breakfast, had lunch. It was pretty good. Dinner, though. First dinner in USP Atlanta. And we come out, and it was like 30, I guess. I only saw the 3 dudes that I was locked up with 2 other dudes I was locked up with, and then at the meals and at showers you would see so many people. They just couldn't let everybody out because they didn't have a lot of guards. So that first dinner, they had steak, and people were going by the trash can throwing it away. I was like, yo, don't throw that away, don't throw that away, don't throw that away. So I ended up with like 7 steaks. They were pretty good size too. It was liver. Man, I should have known better thinking it was some damn steak. It was liver. It was nasty too. I ended up throwing it away. I know I hate wasted food, man, but they was going to throw it away anyway. I thought I scored, man. And I ended up being a head cook in federal prison, so I made a lot of liver. I made it way better than that, and I don't like liver. It's just nasty. But that was one of the things, you know. I was excited about going to USP Atlanta, and they threw the liver at me. And they really didn't have good food. It was all a lie. And then it got worse. So you was allowed to take a shower twice a week. And the showers had doors, bat wing doors, that covered like your belly button down. You had a little bit of privacy, and they were partitioned off. I think there was like 5 or 6. There could have been more. I know there was at least 5 or 6, and they was like right in the hallway. And it would be one guard watching, the shower. He'd be staying back. Well, every time I took a shower, the motherfucker would damn near just rest on my door like this. All these other inmates, like, you supposed to be 15, 20 feet back. I don't know what you're supposed to do anyway. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be singling my ass out watching me like this. I ain't got no pretty body. I ain't got no big ding ding. I ain't got no cute butt. None of that shit. I'm just your average looking dude. And I was like, yo, man, is everything okay? And, I turn around and just start swapping balls at him and shit. Like, wait, what you want a free show or something? I don't understand. Why are you looking in on me like that? Oh no, like that's not anything that's real comfortable to me. Watching some dude watch me take a shower. Ever. Oh, and I've had that happen a bunch now. And you know what? Still don't like it. But just literally. Oh. Like, what, you trying to fall in love with me, man? You know what I mean? After that, you get, they'll let you out of your cell, and you can make a 15-minute phone call, and that's all you're allowed is 15 minutes. So I go to call my mom, and right at about, every 5 minutes it goes, this call is from a federal inmate. Just every 5 minutes. On a 15-minute call, you hear it 3 times. I heard it one time, and the dude came over and said, time to go, Jakowski. I was like, hey, man, I still got 10 minutes. Click. When I say it's time to go, it's time to go. Apparently. You can't say or do anything, man. When you get behind that wall, get behind that door, you thinking about getting in trouble, or you are getting in trouble, and you think you're not going to get caught, everybody gets caught. And you got to pay. You got to pay. That's the way they see it, man. You got to pay. You're not getting nothing for free. You getting away. See, they think you're getting away. Oh, you think you can get away with it? Well, BAM will give you 20 years. BAM will give you 15 years. BAM will give you 5 years. And they give that shit out. To them, it's free. Cost you everything. To them, it's free. And that's their job, too. You got to understand, that's their job. That's their job. I hated it. Man, I was like there 2 weeks, man. I hated it. There was nothing I liked about USP Atlanta. So the last thing that would happen to me that was like a damn, man, that shit's enough's enough. You would get, they would come to the door. You're locked in a room, people. And one of those dudes went away, so I eventually got a bunk. Remember, it's a transfer center, so people are coming and going like crazy. But, no, actually, I ended up being the only person in there. Both of those dudes ended up leaving, and I had 2 days left. I was by myself, and they came in. No, I don't even know if they came in and asked me if I wanted rec or not. I was in my bunk reading, and I hear, damn it, Jakowski, where you been? Man, what you mean, where am I been? I'm locked up behind a door that you have a key to. You got a smart mouth. I've been here the whole time, man. Yeah, you better. Yeah. Man, I gotta get out of here. And see, that's the problem. Ain't no getting out. You ain't getting out. And if you got a date, if you get in trouble, that date goes back too. I hated Atlanta. I hate every ounce of it. And then you got to do the transfer. It takes about 6 hours to process, folks. 6 hours. Process in and process out. 6 hours. They don't care about nothing. It's a job, man. Don't ever hate a guard for doing a job. Don't ever hate a lawyer for doing a job. Don't ever hate a judge for doing a job. Just like you don't hate teachers and firefighters and everybody else. They're all just doing a job. It's all a career. You break the law, you got to pay the price, man, and you don't. It's not worth it. I don't give a damn what you're doing. It ain't worth it. Because once you get behind the walls, there's different laws. There's different rules. And you know, the guards and the cops, they can say, oh yeah, we run it. That's not their house. They're not going to be running to save you. A group of them will. You better hope it's in time. Kind of crazy, man. I knew, it's kind of funny though. I always knew I would end up getting in trouble. I always knew I'd end up going to jail, and I always knew I'd end up going to prison. But I never imagined it would be a place that Al Capone went to. And I never really got to see the main part of USP Atlanta, only the transfer part and the outside. And the outside is really cool. If you're looking at something for a historical thing, because it is one of the first 3 U.S. prisons that were ever built. The other one, Fort Leavenworth and like McNeely, McKinley, and Washington, that one's closed. Boy, it was a rough time, man. 21 years old. From there I would go to FTC, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, which is one of the best places I ever went to. Way different, way better time, way better food. And it would be the first time, coming out of USP Atlanta, would be the first time that I caught Con Air. And I tell that story, I've already had that in another YouTube channel. FTC, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. That's the story for today, man. Hope everybody's having a good day and staying safe. If you could, hit that like button for me. Share if you can. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace.